Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how I built a fixture for transporting a trolling motor or small outboard motor in the bed of your pickup truck. That being said, let's go ahead and get started. These are the main parts I'm going to be using in this project. This is a section of 2x4 pressure treated wood, and I'm going to use an 8-foot piece, but yours may vary. And also I had some leftover 5/16 bolts with some oversized Fender Washers and this set of 4 corner braces. This is the attachment point for the cross brace in the Chevy Colorado or GMC Canyon, and it's got a hole in the center, and that is where I'm going to line up my cross brace of the 2x4 and then mark it from underneath so I can drill a hole through the board, and that way I can run a bolt through the board and through the hole in the attachment point. This is a view of all the pieces as they are dry fit in the bed of the pickup truck. The bottom board there I ended up cutting at 59.5 inches, and since I used an 8-foot long board, I used the remainder on top for the L section. And of course I lined up both centers of the boards, and then as you can see I'm going to be using 3 of the L or corner brackets to attach that to the top. So I'll mark those holes as well, and I've already marked the holes for the anchor points on either end of the long board. So once I do that, I'll put everything together and then bolt everything in. Okay, so I've attached the 3 brackets to the vertical piece and the 5-foot piece that's going to span the width of the truck bed. Now as you can see, they overhang by about a 1/2 inch on the width of the 5-foot board. And you're probably thinking, but X-Maniac, they're hanging over. That doesn't look right. Well, they do hang over by about a 1/2 inch, but by using the 3-inch brackets, they are thicker and stiffer and will be stronger for this project. So unless that extra length becomes a problem, I'm not going to cut them off and I'm going to leave them there. But what I also did to increase the strength is on the underside of the 5-foot board, I used 5 screws going up into the vertical board to add some strength to it. I wanted to give a view of the underside of the board that goes the width of the truck bed. And as you can see, here is the fender washer with the nut, and then these are my 5 screws that are going into the vertical section to give it that extra strength. Okay, so I've got everything installed in there and even added a couple trolling motors in there, and a couple things I will add. As you can see underneath the skegs there, I just put a piece of foam just to make sure that nothing bounces around and gets damaged. And if you're using the Chevy or the GMC Colorado type of attachments, make sure they're screwed down tight in there, otherwise it just might move. So this should work if you have any type of rail system on your pickup truck bed, or even possibly the ones that you could slide in a 2x4 in a vertical position. So overall, that's going to make it a lot easier to transport something, and since I've done it towards the back end of the truck bed, it'll make it easier to get them in and out. So that's it. If you have any questions, please leave them for me in the comments. Thank you.